We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.
I grew up with 6 little brothers and 2 older sisters. I am the only little person in my family. I have a dwarfism called achondroplasia. I am 3 foot 11 inches. I was the only child in my entire family that was homeschooled my entire life, out of all 9 children. When I was young, I wasn't allowed to go in the front yard or have any friends. I remember looking out the window almost every day at all the kids that walked by and just was so tempted just to go outside and talk to any of them. I personally feel like my parents were ashamed of me. I don't remember ever hearing the word I love you growing up, especially from either of my parents, that they would speak to my siblings in like these loving terms. It definitely made me feel like either there's something wrong with me. My dad would pick up my sisters and wrestle my little brother and stuff, but whenever I tried to play with them or something, they would tell me just to sit on the couch or just watch. Because of a lot of the hurt and anger that I have, I definitely have built up a wall. When I was a little girl, I was trapped inside the house. Now as an adult woman, I feel like I'm trapped inside myself.
Welcome back. We're here with our guest host, Loni Love, and that was our guest, Jana. So welcome, Jana.
Hi.
How you doing?
Well, I have a problem, and it's expressing my emotions, and I feel like it's holding me back, and I built a wall. So I want some help.
When was the first time you remember being rejected?
Just like, you know, my parents, for example, I really feel like they didn't love me, and I wish I saw a lot more physical, you know, just interaction with them.
Well, you shared some stuff with us, and I just want to help you tell a bit of your story, because I think it's important that we get a peek behind that wall pretty quick so we can help you try to take it down. But you know, you talked about, you gave me one example of how a group of drunk men had picked you up and carried you away, and you were just paralyzed because you couldn't speak.
Yeah, I remember that night. I was just talking outside the hotel, just right outside the hotel's doors, and some grown men, they were obviously drunk, and came and just picked me up and just started walking with me, and it was just so scary. But at the same time, I couldn't scream, I couldn't yell, I was just froze, and it scared me so much because I couldn't let any emotion out, and I really want to break from that. And
this pattern's been going on a while, because you shared that you just cannot express anger, fear, or excitement, and you said you were raised that way, and you said this has really been holding you back.
It prevents me from connecting with anybody on an emotional level, and it's really it's sad. I wish I could, you know, communicate with everybody on an emotional level, but you know, I can't even, you know, when it comes to even excitement, you know, it's a good emotion. I can't even get loud and excited, and you know, it all just has to be held in, and I think it definitely comes from, you know,
holding it in right now?
I think so, definitely a lot, probably.
What if you were invited to let it out?
I think it would take some time.
What kind of permission do you need?
Just that it's a safe place, and it's there's no judgment, and I think that would be a really big thing. You know, no one is judging me. I think that's the big thing.
Have you ever had that space?
I can't remember me for the life of me feeling that, except, you know, now I have met my boyfriend Andrew, and I think that is the only spot right now where I ever get that. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be able to let go. It relieves so much stress, and just it's amazing, and I love it. But so far, he's the only one that has been able to help me break down a lot of those walls.
Well, then that's great, though, because that says that you are able to. And so are you able to laugh with him?
Yes.
Are you able to cry with him?
I will say on a couple occasions it's been, it was really rough, but I did manage a little bit. It was like the break of it.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us, what makes Andrew different than any other situation or any other person that you've been involved with?
He's just not judgmental. He sends off a good vibe that he's not going to judge you, and he's very understanding, and you know, even if you do tell him something that might be a little you know, upsetting or something, he's not going to overthink it. He's going to think about it and just, like think behind this, the story. Like, well, why did this happen?
How did you guys meet?
See, I met him at a Little People conference like 4 years ago.
Oh, he's a little person too?
Yeah, he's a little person. He's a different type than I am, but we're still about the same height. He's a little bit taller than me than when he stands up straight.
You like him tall?
Yeah, a little bit taller. Slightly. But yeah, no, it's amazing. I've never experienced it in my entire life. And it's upsetting to me because, even like my own parents, I feel like I should be able to be comfortable around them and express my emotions to them. But like you said, when as a child we were, whenever it got too noisy, you had to be, just keep it in, just be quiet about it.
When I was like many moons ago, 22 years old, I was working for a Fortune 500 company. And I was like the only black female. Everybody else was white males in their 50s. And so I know what it feels like to feel different. Because at first I didn't notice. I was like you too, I didn't notice. But then eventually I started noticing, they go camping, I go to a Snoop Dogg concert. It's just, I know what it's like to, to feel different.
Yeah, and it definitely is. I feel like sometimes I wish I wasn't different, but I've definitely learned to accept it in different ways. I feel like today I still struggle with it. I don't let it.
Did you talk to your parents about it?
My parents I feel like they're not very understanding. They feel like I should just suck it up and, this is the way I am, so just deal with it. And I wish they were a little more, more sympathetic, I guess, just like kind of understanding.
What you're getting right now is empathy, because I can relate too. And I'm going to tell you more about that when we come back, because I think it's important. I know what it's like to be shut down emotionally, and I know what it's like to try to take those walls down. So we got to help you with that process.
Okay, so then let's take a quick break, okay? When we come back, we'll have more with Jana, and her boyfriend Andrew will be joining us as well. We'll be right back after this. Coming up.
What's it like? If you could describe to me what it's like not to be able to connect, that space.
It's scary, it's lonely, it's sad, I feel like.
We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.